Hey guys, this is Cam15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm here discussing, yes, the One Piece manga. Um, if you guys know on my channel, I don't really talk about the One Piece manga. More importantly, nor do I talk about anything that's going on in the manga. I only talk about things in the anime. Because I do anime reviews, but the one thing that's going on with the anime is they're on infinite hiatus, and because of it going on hiatus, well, I just decided to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna wait this long. I'm just gonna catch up and read the manga. So I ended up catching up and reading the manga, saw all the fights that led to what we got here, and then obviously the most talked about chapter up to this point, you know, right now is just utterly everybody's just talking about it's utter insanity, and I was very much just like in awe, in shock and awe with what I read from this week's manga chapter, because this was some insane stuff here. And yeah, it's crazy. Now, spoiler warning to people who only watch my anime reviews, and they're like, why is he doing a manga review and stuff like that? um I just want to keep this, again, like I said, click off now if you only watch my anime reviews. When the anime comes back, I'll review the anime. This doesn't mean I'm gonna stop reviewing the anime and stuff like that. And in the grand scheme of thing, in terms of my One Piece manga chapter content, I'm not gonna do manga chapter reviews like my Hero and my Black Clover and my Fairy Tail manga chapter reviews. It will be like if a big chapter hits, and I feel like I really want to talk about it just to get my thoughts out there, then I'll definitely make a video about it. But I'm morally 100% committed to reviewing the One Piece anime. But if there's a nice big chapter that has a lot of stuff going on, then I will definitely talk about it. So yeah, so for people who like the One Piece manga, don't expect me to make manga chapter reviews all the time, but maybe once in a while, if it's a really good chapter where I need to talk about it and just have things to say, then I'll talk about it. But till then, that's kind of it. So again, last spoiler warning for anime people who are on here, click off the video now, because unless you don't want to get spoiled, go right ahead. Personally, if you're an anime only, I highly request you stay off or anything away from One Piece, and so you can experience the moment, right then and there. But I think even some people in the anime portion of this series who are animes have heard about this. They may have not seen it, but heard about what happened. So yes. Anyways, let's go on to the spoilers. So, everybody and their money got it right about their predictions on if Luffy would end up getting a new transformation, a new gear, for this fight against Kaido. And yes, the ever-loving theories of Gear 5 coming to fruition. Well, now Gear 5 has finally happened, and it's so unique. Now, before I talk about Luffy, Gear 5, and all that stuff, I want to actually bring up the Hiyori Orochi moment, and I do want to give it its just dues. I do think some people are probably not caring about that whole scene, but I think it's a scene that actually needs to be like cared about and actually like looked at this, because I just take it from the standpoint, it's literally the fall of Orochi and all of Orochi's selfishness and everything he's come up to do essentially now is burning in his face, and he's dying a slow, painful death, and he's burning like he would burn in hell, essentially. But essentially, the whole discussion there is Hiyori revealing to Orochi who she is, that she's not Komurasaki. Orochi obviously try to sweet talk her and say, "Hey, listen, let me out of here, Hiyori. You know, I'll freaking do this for you. We'll honor your father, and I promise I will do all the misdeeds that I did. I'll forget that, and I'll be a better person." And we all know Orochi's a conniving, lying, sleazeball that will do anything he can do to try to stay alive and everything. And the one thing is, I love it how Hiyori is not buying this at all, and I love it how she's kind of the person that gets to see it. I wish it was Momonosuke and the other scabbers that was willing to see Orochi's, slowly, painfully dying, but I'm okay with Hiyori seeing Orochi slowly, painfully dying, because she was obviously affected, and she was one of the people that had to deal over the long vast of 20 years of what this guy did, and she had to be waiting for this moment, all this time, because ever since she was raised up by Denjiro to be Komurasaki, I guarantee more than half the time she always went to like Orochi's banquets and stuff like that because he requested, and she probably wanted to slit his throat right then and there, but she's like, no, I have to wait, it's not my time yet, and stuff like that. And I love the whole line how she says, "I'm Kozuki Hiyori," or Hiyori Kozuki. That whole panel shot of Hiyori, with the tears coming over her eyes, like, was a great drawn panel right there. And then her just going on the description is like, "Please spare me your BS, spare me your lies. You are a wicked, cowering, freaking, selfish, anything you can say bad about Orochi that hasn't been said bad about Orochi." And she's literally calling him out. She's like, "Please, you want me to freaking save you after everything you've done, after all the promises you made but you broke? You expect me to get you out of this rubble, save you, and you expect me to believe you that you would do everything that you said you were going to do? Please." I love the fact how she brought up, she's like, "You made my father look like an idiot, a fool, dancing in the public, has his reputation in the city of Wano, in the country of Wano, literally looked at as if he was a mere peasant boy, essentially. You made fun of him, and you made the promise with him that if you were to do this, you would give him back his country, so he could save his people. You held the people of Wano hostage, hiding behind a pirate, out of all things, so you can continue to have your power and your rule over the country at the expense of my father. And you made him do all these things to get your way, to stay alive for all these years, and now you want me to save you? Oh, please, you can kick rocks." And I love the fact how, Hiyori went on to make a mention, like, "I never saw you as a shogun." I know the Viz translations don't even mention Hiyori saying it. I know that's different from the unofficial and the Viz translations. I don't care. It's essentially what she's saying altogether. She's essentially, "I never saw you as a shogun. You were never a shogun. You were never a ruler. You were just a small little man trying to bypass the system," which he did with all the lies and deceits he's done. And essentially, Hiyori's just there as like, "I'm gonna watch you here die, and you're gonna get what's coming to you." And all of a sudden we see Kanjo's little figment come in, his little flame that tried to light up all of Onigashima and blow it up to Kingdom Come, come in, just touch him, and then Orochi's just burning in fire, and Hiyori's just slowly but surely watching him die, and stuff like that. Honestly, that was actually a pretty good scene, just from the standpoint we're finally getting the fall of Orochi. And I think for good this time, the fact that he's got Sea Prism stone nails in his body, he can't do his little freaking Hydra form where he can create extra hymns and stuff like that. I still don't know how he's all constantly, it's weird. It's like they chop up this one head, so does he, one of the heads just, I never understood that. Definitely needs to be explained a little bit more how he can get his head cut off in his Hydra form, but then still come back when it looks like he's dead for good. But that could be answering like an SBS from Oda or something like that. But obviously, let's get to the main talking point that everybody and their mama has been talking about this entire weekend, this past weekend, slash even earlier on when the spoilers came out, and stuff like that. And that is Gear 5th Luffy. For me, I always figured that they might do a Gear 5th. There was always a possibility that they would do a Gear 5th. And honestly, I'm, very nice and happy. I like the design. It looks like basic Luffy just with Super Saiyan hair because his hair is all flowy and everything. But it's like he takes Gear 5th to me takes like the elements of all his previous gears, and kind of combines it into one. He probably just has the same amount of fast speed he has in gear, in second gear. He can inflate his body like in third gear, and then fourth gear he still kind of has that, like, I guess you can say, that little cloud that wraps around him when he goes to that state and everything. So that's pretty cool too altogether. And it's just from the standpoint, Gear 5th is so unique because it's his Devil Fruit Awakening, and then it doesn't even get any crazier than the standpoint we find out that the Gum Fruit is not really the Gum Fruit. It is the human fruit modeled Nika, which is a mythical Zoan. And when I read that, I was like, this entire time we were led to believe that he had a Paramecia Devil Fruit, and now he has a Zoan Devil. But in reality, he has a Zoan Devil Fruit, a mythical Zoan Devil Fruit, which, it's funny enough. It makes some people may say it's complete BS and everything, but honestly, I don't see it as BS. I think it's actually pretty cool. It's unique because we know the one thing is Luffy always had this crazy determination, and when it looked like he should be down for the count, he never did. But we already know, like, with Zoan types, especially mythical Zoans, they're always tough to take down because of how much they can get back up and the regeneration properties and stuff like that. And it's like, you go back to like fights in One Piece, it's like, now I see why Luffy was able to freaking be able to take these devastating hits and still get back up from it. Like, the Lucci fight at Enies Lobby, Lucci looked like he had freaking Luffy beat, but Luffy kept getting back up and everything. Obviously it was determination to save Robin, but you can say maybe the mythical Zoan element was kicking in, not having Luffy surrender yet and everything. And it's just freaking crazy, man. It's just freaking crazy. And then you have the whole freaking 5 elders at Marijois essentially revealing this whole fact, and they're like, oh crap, we really screwed up, huh? Which we find out, like, my goodness, from these guys, like, the Devil Fruit, it only really works it has the properties of rubber in it, but it only works for people that have a wide imagination. So it's like, all the moves Luffy does, it's purely based on, like, imagination. For like example, Gum Red Hawk, we always thought, oh, it's based on Luffy just moving so fast that his hands catches on fire because it's like burning rubber and stuff like that. No, that's just strictly pure imagination of Luffy just imagining his brother Ace using the Fire Fist, and obviously, somehow because of it, it makes it to where, it creates a whole fist of fire. And the crazy thing is, he takes after the sun god. It's a property of the sun god Nika. It kind of makes sense now why he's able to do Gum Red Hawk, because sun has fire in it. Makes sense, and the whole wide imagination. We even have Luffy says, wow, I haven't thought of any things I could do any more than I could. And then obviously the number one question too with this whole Gear 5 thing is this going to be the last transformation for Luffy? I believe it is, because Luffy literally in the chapter says, I think I'm like, I feel like I'm at the pinnacle, the peak of my power, which essentially means this is at its strongest too. another question will also have to be answered too, is can he be able to go into gear 5th at will? So it's like, okay, gear 2nd's not working, gear 3rd's not working, gear 4th isn't working, whether it's bounce man or snake man. I'm going to gear 5th now, the peak of my power, the strongest I possibly can get. We don't know if he can transform into it at will. Like, I want to be mad if he can't. If he does, that's fine with me. It honestly kind of feels like Ultra Instinct syndrome to me. Just from this aspect, when Goku first understood Andrew, got into the whole Ultra Instinct business, he couldn't transform into it at will until like near the end of the Moral arc, when he could at least go Ultra Instinct Sign or Ultra Instinct Omen at will. And then now in the Granola arc, he can go into white form, white-haired, mastered Ultra Instinct at will now, which I personally don't like that. But they could do it. Maybe it's like, just like how in Goku case for Ultra Instinct, it activates in a near life death situation with Luffy was in. But I think the fact that his Devil Fruit's awakened, and the fact that when you awaken your Devil Fruit, you can activate it at will. Doflamingo did it. We saw Kid and Law do it. We saw Katakuri do it. So he awakened his Devil Fruit, and I'm guessing that's the whole thing for it to activate, gear 5, and have this, the true properties of, his Devil Fruit come on. And the crazy thing is, we don't even know what we're going to name this thing. Are we going to call it now the human fruit? Are we going to still just call it the gum fruit? That's going to be an interesting question. I feel like either or is going to be fine with somebody, but if we're going to go by the accurate, translation, you're going to say he has the human fruit. So yeah. And like I said, it's freaking crazy, man. The 5 elders, they messed up, man. I understand they had a lot on their plates over this entire storyline with what's been going on, but it's like, dog, you really let this guy with a Devil Fruit that could be activated if in any case it gets awakened. But again, I don't kind of blame them, because they even make the mention like this Devil Fruit hasn't awakened for anybody, for any user, for the past 100 years. So that's the whole thing there. I would have to also think that maybe Joy Boy also had this fruit at some time and he just failed. And we already know Zunisha already deems Luffy Joy Boy. And I think this we can kind of somewhat say that Joy Boy is just a title now. So yeah, but that was insane. Yeah, I like the whole moment too at the end of the chapter when Kaido, because Luffy is fighting Kaido. The one thing I do like, just to cut over before I get into the Kaido point before I end this video off, is I like how it's cartoonish. Some people may not like it. I like how it's cartoonish and everything. That's it's just so One Piece right there. But his Devil Fruit awakening is like how I thought it would be. He can make things rubbery just from touching it and stuff like that. Like when he reflected the blast breath with just pulling up the ground like it was a rug, and it's just straight rubber, and he just bounces it back. And then like I said, the gear 3rd element where he can just expand his bones instantly, and stuff like that, crazy. And like he doesn't even have to blow into his freaking hands or feet anymore and stuff like that. He can just be like, boom, I got it now. I got him. So it's freaking unique and everything. But as I'm ending this off, I loved how Kaido brought up the point. He's like, hey, look, that dumbass CP0 member that got involved in their fight, I'm sorry for that. I didn't want to win like that. And I loved how Luffy's like, yeah, whatever. Don't really care. It is what it is. Let's finish this right now. So yeah, I definitely did like that, because it goes to show that Kaido, even though he's kind of just, even though he's one of those bad pirates, he does have some semblance of honor to him. And so like, mostly because he's enjoying a fight like crazy now. He's enjoying his fight with Luffy. So yeah. Coming chapters, there's no break. Coming chapter, the next chapter, we're gonna get to the Gear 5th Luffy fight versus Kaido. Now, obviously, the thing is, will Kaido have one more trick up his sleeve, which will increase his strength, or is this just gonna be it? Honestly, I don't know. I could definitely see it, where Kaido is like, all right, I got one more boost in power I can show you with and everything. And honestly, it kind of, it would be like, the Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza fight, because if you remember that fight, if you watch Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Z Kai, Goku, when he first transformed to Super Saiyan, he was kicking Frieza's butt. Like, he was easily beating him, and it's like, oh, flawless victory. And stuff like that. Similar to how we saw here Luffy get the upper hand on Kaido here at the end of the chapter. But then, Frieza, he was like, please, let me get my full 100% power, my final form and everything. And he did make Goku work to beat him, but when Goku's like, I got you, it's so I definitely could see where Kaido is like, there's my full true power, right here and there. The only reason why I kind of doubt it is because he's already did his full devil fruit transformation. He did his hybrid form already and stuff like that. Don't know what else he's got left up his sleeve, but maybe he does. We'll see. But I definitely do think this will be the final clash between Luffy and Kaido, with obviously Luffy coming out on top, because you don't want to just kill Gear 5th as a form and everything. That was my whole problem. Again, make another Dragon Ball reference. It was my whole problem with freaking Vegeta getting his new transformation in Ultra Ego. You let him do this, and then he absolutely gets freaking beat. Kills the transformation purposes, in my opinion. But yeah, this was a really good chapter. Obviously, highly talked about chapter. I love this chapter. I was smiling from face to face, just seeing like, wow, this is just pure insanity. And it's crazy. One Piece news came out today and stuff like that. New character revealed for the new movie. We are getting a One Piece game called One Piece Odyssey that I'm going to get. Insanity. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy freaking stuff we got here. Obviously, I'm guessing you also want to know, where does this rank in terms of transformations for me? Honestly, I don't really know. But if you ask me, it's definitely up there with my top 5. I definitely want to see this moment animated, because when this gets animated, it's going to be really good too. I hope it's really good when it gets animated. But with the way how even Toei's been killing it with the Wano arc, I think they're going to make this a memorable freaking moment. I will say it still doesn't do it for me, other than this, over the Super Saiyan form. I know there's like some people on Twitter saying like best shonen transformation, yet. I'm like, it's debatable. It's debatable. I still think that a Super Saiyan Goku transformation moment holds a lot, in terms of how impactful that moment is too. And you can say you're just being a Dragon Ball homer, but I truly believe, I think that the one transformation that can contend with the Gear 5th transformation, is definitely Super Saiyan Goku on Namek. I think something about that scene is just so powerful. And this scene was powerful enough, the build up and everything and stuff like that. But yeah, but that's my thoughts on One Piece chapter 1044. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this chapter. Hit that like button if you like the video. And hit the subscribe button if you want to get more One Piece content. Again, like I said, I do talk the One Piece anime, so I'm not going to do a whole thoughts on like the past chapters before this chapter. If you want to get my thoughts whenever the anime comes back, that's when you'll get my thoughts on like the fight between who's who, and and stuff like that. The fight between Big Mom, Law, and Kid, and stuff like that. So yeah, and then hit the subscribe button for other anime content, other than just One Piece. Spring of Anime 2022 is coming this week, I believe, and I can't wait for some of the title choices, but it's gonna be very interesting. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day or night watching this video. Until then, guys, I'll catch you guys whenever I come up with the next One Piece manga video and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Catch you guys later. Peace.